So, name ko, Carol Faith Ayson, and I've been working as a nurse in Qatar since 2014. So, mga 7 years.
Questions po muna tayo. Regarding lang po sa inyo po, personal, ganon. So, first po is, when you were young and still thinking of what course to enroll on, what inspired you to take nursing?
Sa totoo lang, hindi ko talaga gusto maging isang nurse. Ang gusto ko talaga noon ay maging isang journalist. Yun talaga yung first choice of career ko. Kung tutusin nga, yung nursing, parang mga nasa top 20 lang yun eh. But, practically speaking, journalism is not a very profitable career and it is a very competitive field. And, nung time kasi na yun yung kasagsagan na nagkakaroon ng maraming cases. Cases kung saan kinikidnap yung mga journalists. So, nakakatakot rin. So, that is why I decided to set aside my dream of becoming a journalist someday. And, at the end of the day, yung ginagamit ko lang is logic. Naisip ko na hindi mauubusan ng tao na nagkakasakit kasi everyday may nagkakasakit. That's why I choose to become a nurse instead.
And by the way, saan po pala kayo nag-college po nun? Nag-take na nursing?
Um,
I actually decided to take up nursing at FEU NRMF. Yung sa Maydalia, mahirap siya, and there were times that I want to give up, especially when the time when we were studying anatomy and physiology. I really hated it. And then, andyan yung microbio, then pharma. Pero laban lang, basta aral lang. After capping, ng second year, we have our duty na sa hospital. And that's a time na medyo may tiwala na sa amin yung clinical instructors. And andun yung halo ng feeling ng excitement and sense of pride na you were able to do it. And also, the sense of worry na baka magkamali ka. Tapos, license ng CI mo yung nakataya, di ba? Also, during university days, andyan yung pinakakatakutan ng lahat, ang araw ng battery exam. I really hate doing battery exams at bumababa talaga yung heart rate ko dun. And after years and years of studying, I finally have my diploma on my hand. Our graduation day came and it was a moment to remember.
Regarding po sa board exam, paano po kayo nag-prepare before po nun?
We all know that after graduation, studying did not end there. And we have a lot of preparation to make pa. And syempre, that's the board exam. And of course, I have to prepare for that. And we all have to prepare for that. And although in my school, as far as I can remember, it was during the beginning of our senior year, I believe. Nag-start na yung intensive preparation for board exam. But at that time kasi, hindi pa namin yung masyadong siniseryoso eh. And then, when we focus na, and I focus na sa pag-aaral ng review, so for the boards, I think I had 9 months to prepare for the board exam. But the last 3 months were the most intensive ones. And mahirap siya. Mahirap siya at nakakapagod. Pero kung gusto mo talagang pumasa, you have to work hard for it. Kailangan mo talagang magsunog ng kilay. Then the day finally arrived, June 30 and July 1 of the year 2012. It was when I took my licensure exam. I would never forget those days. After the board exam, we have to wait for some time for the result to be out. Then the result came out and it were posted. And guess what? I have passed. And I felt the intense joy that at that moment, sobrang saya ko lang talaga na nakapasa ako. And I've made it. And it was one of the happiest days of my life.
Thank you po. And what are your inspirations naman on why you decided to work abroad?
It was a real struggle for me to look and apply jobs here in the Philippines. There were lots of requirements before they accept you for the job. Tatanungin ka nila kung saan ka graduate, tapos dapat above 80% ang board rating mo, tapos pag from the province ka graduate, hindi ka nila tatanggapin. And then, hahanapan ka rin nila ng IV therapy license, ng BLS training, and then, pati na rin yung ACLS training. And all of these things cost about 7,000 pesos at that time, I think. Then, another thing is that, para rin matanggap ka sa trabaho, kailangan may kakilala ka na nagtatrabaho din sa hospital. Tapos, para siyang may entrance exam eh. So, after mo ng boards exam, di ba, may entrance exam pa dun sa apply mo. And then, kailangan makapasa ka dun sa exam na yun. And then, after that, may isasalang ka muna sa isang panel interview. Basta, grabe, sobrang daming requirements at sobrang nahihirapan din talaga ako na maghanap ng work dun sa Pinas. So, ayun, nakakarami na ako ng pinag-a-applyan na trabaho. Pero wala pa rin akong nahanap na work. And at that point, sabi ko, parang naubos na yung pera ko dito. Tsaka, ang dami ko na rin yung training na nagawa. Tapos, di pa rin makabawi yung parents ko sa mga binayad nila. Doon, naisip ko na bumalik na lang kaya ako sa Middle East. Tapos doon, sa Middle East, magsisimula ulit ako at magtitry ulit ako na maghanap ng trabaho. Tapos naisip ko na kahit hindi na bilang isang nurse dahil ang importante nun sa akin ay makapagtrabaho na at syempre makabawi sa mga magulang ko. So lumipad ako pa ibang bansa at ako ay napunta sa Qatar.
What did you feel when you started working ulit dyan po sa Qatar?
When I came here in Qatar, dito medyo maselan sila since newly grad ako. And syempre, dahil nga newly grad ako, wala pa akong work experience. At dito sa Qatar, nagkatrabaho ako, pero bilang isang dental assistant. And it was for about 5 years. Ang license ko kasi noon ay isang nurse training and dapat talaga sa medical ako ilalagay. Pero nagkaroon ng shuffling at ayun nga, dahil sa shuffling na yun, napunta ako sa dental. And that's the story of my life on how I pursue nursing and how I ended up here working in Qatar. And up until now, andito na yung life ko.
Ayan. So, thank you po. Ngayon, mag-ask po ako ng questions about multicultural healthcare workforce po. And, ayan, compared to when you were working here in the Philippines, or nakapag-work po ba kayo dito? Na-try niyo pong mag-work talaga or hindi po talaga?
Hindi ko nag-work, as a trainee. Yun nga, trainee. Hindi
Opo.
ko siya, parang volunteer. Hindi ko siya kino-consider as work.
Okay. So, compared to when siguro as a student na lang po dito, nung student nurse pa lang po kayo, can you say that your skills have improved? How can you say so?
I think, yes, malayo na. Kasi sa Philippines, hindi magandang practice or it's a bad mindset yung superiority.
Yes po.
Upon senior, they intimidate you. So, ang hirap matuto kapag lagi kang pinapahiya. So, bagong RN ako noon, nagtitraining ako, pinapahiya ako sa harap ng pasyente. Graduate ka ng ganitong school, hindi mo alam, bobo ka ba? Yung mga ganun. Same na kayo ng lahi. So, parang instead na sabi ko, ngayon bobo po ako, pero pag tinuro niyo na alam ko na po.
Yes.
Tapos sasagutin ka ulit, TANGA ka pala eh, sabi. Sabi niya, tapusin na lang natin kasi marami pa tayong ibang pasyente. Parang yun nga, it's intimidating yung ganung culture. Although, tuturuan ka naman nun na maging tough, may mga good side din naman yun. Yun lang. Depende rin siguro sa work environment. Kasi dito mostly, hindi ko siya gaano na-experience. Meron pa rin mga colleagues na gano'n, hindi mo maiwasan na mataas ang lipad. Pero mostly is, pag nakita ka, dito kasi, pag nakita nilang Pilipino ka, they leave you alone kasi assume nilang kaya mo. Kahit di mo alam, oo ka na lang kasi matututunan mo rin along the way. So yun doon ka mag-improve. And siguro ang pinaka nag-improve from when I was a student up until now is yung way mo makipag-deal sa patients.
Yes po.
Especially dito, iba-ibang lahi. You have to learn when to be soft, when to be tough, when to yung be calm, and when to be firm.
Yeah.
Kailangan makita na doon ka sa middle ground. Kasi, syempre, as a student, you want to please them. Ayaw mo may magalit. Kasi sasama loob mo, dadalhin mo yan hanggang sa susunod mong duty, naka-stop dito. Kailangan sasama loob mo, tapos labas mo, and then move on to the next patient. Ganun.
Opo. Ayan. And meron po bang differences or have you noticed any practice or beliefs, pagkakaiba po between nung clinical duties niyo po dito and after working po dyan abroad?
First difference na makikita mo is sa technology.
Apo.
I have never seen yung mga gamit namin dito sa gamit dyan. Kasi
Yes.
hindi man ako na-expose sa big hospitals like St. Luke's, Asian. They probably have those. Kapag RLE student ka, lalagay ka talaga dun sa mga parang kulang yung mga nire-reuse yung mga catheter.
Apo.
So, tayo. Kasi dito health center pa lang 5-star levels na siya. Walang inuulit. Kailangan gagawin mo hindi siya 100% ideal pero almost there.
Oh, wow.
So,
And although, ayun, medyo na-mention na siya kanina, pero is there a time that you actually considered going back home because of the cultural differences or practices? Or wala po?
meron. Kasi nga, I was in dental for 5 years. And nandun yung insecurity na yung dating classmate mo, syempre ayaw mo maging ma-feeling, pero sometimes isipin mo, ito yung tinutulungan mo lang sa homework dati, yung ina-assist mo sa duty, and then their ICU nurses, CCU nurses, OR nurses, ER nurses. At ang galing nila mag-shoot sa swero, samantala ko, nagtitremors pang ganyan. So, at saka, hahanapin mo rin kasi siya eh. Then, that is not field. Ginamit ko lang siya because it's what's available at that time. Kailangan nating kumita.
Yes. So, meron pa rin po pala.
Sabi ko, yun. Sabi ko, pag hindi ako natanggap sa any government dito, uwi na ako para mag-hospital sa PH last minute. Kaya, nandito pa rin ako.
Yes po. Ayan. And now, according naman po sa barriers or mga conflicts po sa workplace, meron po bang any barriers, ganon, that hinder you from working properly, ganon, or merong obstacles that prevented easy delivery of healthcare information? Meron po ba sa Qatar?
Number one barrier is the language.
Po.
Language barrier. Nung nag-work ako sa private, most of them can speak English. Okay, so, konti lang yung kailangan mong malaman. Pero nung napunta ako sa public, sa government, nakasakop na niya lahat. Some of them cannot speak English at all, as in wala. So, ang hirap mag-communicate kasi frustrated na yung pasyente, frustrated ka din.
Yes.
So, yun yung number one barrier is communication, language. Number two is yung culture. Kailangan alam mo yung pwede at hindi pwede sa specific race.
Yes.
Example, if they're Muslims na female, hindi mo siya pwedeng ipasa sa male na nurse.
Yes po.
Or hindi siya pwedeng, kung may gagawin ka, kailangan provide ka ng privacy or tatanungin mo siya kung okay lang siyang hawakan doon. And kapag other cultures, siguro naaral nyo naman, like, although hindi namin ginagawang mag-blood transfuse, pero kung kailangan mong mag-inform sa patient na kailangan niyang gawin to, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung hindi pwede at pwede. So, kailangan familiar ka sa different cultures of different nationalities. So, yun, language and cultural differences, and ano pa ba? Yung body language din. Kasi Like sa Indians, yung ganito nila means yes.
Oh, baligtad.
Gaganyan. Ganyan ang head nila. They have allergy, gaganyan sila. So, I mean, no or yes. Parang no allergy, tatawin mo siya, tapos gaganyan siya. Ibig sabihin, akala mo, para sa'yo, you will understand it as yes, may allergy siya. Pero it means no. And some of them, hindi ka pwedeng ngumiti kasi isipin mo na gusto mo silang maging jowa, mga ganon. Hindi ka pwedeng maging masyadong friendly.
Yes.
So you have to know you have to know the boundaries or yung mga lines.
Yeah.
Diba? Yun lang naman yata. Hindi ko na maalala yung iba.
Thank you po. Ayan. And regarding, did you have any experience or conflicts with your coworkers naman po or colleagues ganon? How about your patients? And ano po yung ginagawa nyo kapag meron?
Sa colleagues, hindi mo may iwasan yan.
Yes.
Regardless of the nationality, you will not avoid it. Magkakaroon kayo ng conflict. Mostly, ang conflict namin is pag matagal nag-break yung isa.
Yes po.
May iwan ka. So, magagalit ka, magsusumbungan kayo sa opisina, tatawa lang kayo.
Yeah.
So, yun ang very minor. O kaya, kasi if you have Muslim or Arab colleagues, they pray 5 times a day. So 5 times na yon may tatamaan sa duty. So, matagal siya. Alam ko, tinanong ko na yan sa other Muslim, gano'ng katagal ba silang pray? 15 to 20 minutes, okay na. Mawawala siya ng 1 oras. So, ang dami na nangyari sa 1 oras na yun. Yun nga, mostly yung kapag sa break time lang. Ang resolution lang naman dyan is, mawala ka rin kung gano'ng katagal siya mawala. Hindi, joke lang. Kung magayahin yun. Pero, syempre, consideration or yung division of tasks. Tapos, conflict sa patient, hindi mo maiwasan yan. Uso nga ngayon, shoutout kami sa Facebook. Shoutout po doon sa Filipinong nurse sa ganitong health center.
Yes.
Napakasama ng ugali mo, dinala mo yung ugaling gaganon sila. So, mga ganyan, dahil they use fake accounts, tatawanan na lang namin. Pero yung face-to-face is, yun nga, dun mo kailangan alam mo kung kailan ka maging firm, kailan ka maging calm, kung paano mo siya i-handle. Kasi kung unreasonable siya, and nasa height ka ng katoksikan, and ang safest way is kung ayaw mo ng stress at alam mong ikaw ang tama, padala mo na siya, tawag ka ng security or tumatawag kami ng security or ng parang customer service, hayak ang tawag dito. Or pinapapunta na namin sa head nurse office na sila mag-complain. Pero kung kaya naming ma-resolve, gagawin namin.
Yes.
Pero hindi mo iwasan, nakikipagsagutan ka talaga. Kaso may mga unreasonable people na, I will report you to your supervisor.
Hindi nga po may...
Gagawa, papakita lang namin ID. This is my name. Go tell the head nurse. Para alam nila, hindi ka takot sa kanila. Pero pag taga rito, like Qataris, hindi namin gagawin yun. Kasi bansa nila to. Pwede ko ma-deport. So, as much as possible, padala mo sa doktor or bigay mo sa head nurse. Huwag mo i-escalate.
Ayan. And dun po sa mga nabanggit niyo po na barriers, conflicts niyo po with sa work or sa coworkers, sa colleagues, ganun, ano po yung most important lesson that you have learned after experiencing, yun nga po, yung mga barriers po na yun?
You have to learn how to adapt. If may language barrier kayo, hindi mag-a-adapt yung pasyente sa'yo. Ikaw ang mag-a-adapt.
Yes.
So, learn the language. Kahit mahirap, inaral ko mag-Arabic. It's not perfect, pero yung enough para magkaintindihan kayo. Pag malalim na yung ginagamit niyang terms, hindi ko na kaya, call a friend na. Pero yung mga important, at least you have to know yung paano mo tatanungin yung full name niya, yung birthday niya, yung age niya in Arabic, kung may allergies siya, ano yung mga sakit niya, you have to know this, yung mga importante. And yun lang. And yun nga, you have to really set aside your emotion. You cannot be emotional at work, especially ngayong pandemic. Kahit na nahahabag na yung damdamin mo or ganyan, kahit na naka-PPE ka, umiyak ka, you have to set it aside. Kailangan i-box mo siya and do it during your break time. I-unload mo during your break time or after your work. Kasi kailangan mag-focus ka sa importante. Dahil kung magpapa-overcome ka sa emotion mo, you won't be able to do your job right. You're going to fail yourself, your supervisors, your colleagues, and your patient.
Yes po. Thank you, Ayson. And last na po tayo, ways in promoting harmony in multicultural places. Kagaya po na nasabi nyo, since hindi nga po may iwasan yung mga conflicts with colleagues and patients. So, una is, how did you acknowledge cultural differences in your workplace? Are you and your coworkers open for sharing culture?
Yes, open naman kami. As usual, very minor lang yung pinag-aawayan natin. Break lang talaga. Or yung nature kasi ng Pilipino magtrabaho, parang magdadaldal ka lang, magdadaldal lang yung mga Pinoy nurses, magre-reklamo, pero at the end of the day, ginagawa. Nagdadabog pero gagawin. Sila, pag sinabi nilang ayaw nila, hindi talaga nila gagawin. Kasi hindi talaga. Eh, ikaw, hindi mo matiis na hindi mo gawin kasi paano na sila? Paano, para saan pa nandito? So, yun, mag-usap na lang kayo or makaka-move on din naman sila kung ayaw nilang gawin. Or at the beginning of the shift, tanongin mo na, sister, anong oras ka mag-break? Gano'ng katagal ka mawawala? Ganon din ako. Kung gano'ng katagal mawawala, ganon din ako. Parang ganon, mag-internal arrangement na kayo. Huwag lang kayo mahuli ng nurse. Charot. Huwag yung gawin in real life.
Tama naman, Char. Ayan. And then, are you aware of your cultural bias kung meron man po? And does your cultural bias often hinders you from socializing with your coworkers?
Cultural bias, I think it depends on which area you're assigned. Kasi most of the time, ang prefer ko is Filipino na kasama ko. Kasi you don't have to talk to one another. Parang eye contact lang, smooth na. Automatic, naka-autopilot yan. Pag hindi ginawa nung isa, gagawin nung isa. So, ayun, mahirapan lang kami kung pareho kami Pilipino if the patient is like Indian and we cannot speak Hindi. Kasi ang hirap. And Indians, parang Pilipino yan, ang dami nilang language. Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, whatever. Ang dami. So yes, sometimes may cultural bias kasi prefer mong Filipino. And sometimes when you see doon sa roster na, oh no, siya ang partner ko, iiwanan niya ako, nakikipagpalit ka sa opisina, or what. Ayun. I think mostly because of the workload, yung parang chemistry nyo ba when you're working, it's easier. Kahit din naman sila, prefer din nila yung kalahi nila. But sometimes, most of the time, talagang sinasadya nilang hindi kami magkalahi. Dahil matagal may magbe-break or yun nga, yung ng other patients, kailangan yung isa marunong mag-Tagalog English, yung isa marunong mag-Hindi English, Arabic, or pareho kayo marunong mag-Arabic, ganun. Mostly sa language kaya nila dinidistribute.
Ask ko lang, marami po bang Pinoy din po dyan sa Qatar or sa workplace po ninyo?
Workplace. Siguro marami is Indian. Next is Filipino, and then Arabs. Super dami.
Okay. And last question. On your general perspective, how do you promote harmony in your workplace given that you and your coworkers have different culture?
Your harmony is, first you have to understand each other's culture.
Yan po.
Kung may time ka, you have to search or you have to ask what is allowed, what you can say. Kasi usually naman dito, so far sa mga naka-work ko dito sa PHCC, yung mga seniors is, they teach you kung ano yung, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin ganyan. Hindi mo siya pwedeng i-push ng ganyan kasi matataranta siya, iiyak siya. So, you have to, and then you have to open up na. Kasi another thing is, when you ask them, minsan ang sagot nila sa'yo, pag ganun sa atin, para kang aso. Aso, diba? Ibig sabihin nun dito is no. For Arabs or Indian, gaganon sila. So sasabihin mo sila, in my country, it means like you're calling a dog. So, sorry. Siyempre, inform mo sila, really? Gaganon sila, magulat sila, sorry. Hindi na nila gagawin. Or gagawin nila, tapos tatawa ka na lang because you know. At least you have to educate each other
Yes.
and learn to adapt sa kanilang, kasi in your 8-hour shift, makikita mo kung ano yung strength niya, kung ano yung weaknesses niya. If you think that your partner cannot handle stress, kailangan ikaw yung magdadala.
Yes.
Kailangan utusan mo siya in a way na hindi niya alam na kinokontrol mo siya. Like, can you do this? I will do the vital signs. Can you ask because I cannot understand the language? Or do you want to sit or stand? Or I will do this and you do that, or we will do it together. Parang ganon. Nasa tone ng boses mo yun eh.
Apo. So, nasa ano din po yun talaga. Sa pag-adapt, sa flexibility, gano'n. Ayan. So, thank you po. And before po natin i-end, ano po yung advice na masasabi niyo po ngayon sa mga students na nag-take po ng nursing po ngayon?
Sabi ko lang sa students, if it's really your passion, it's something that you have to pursue. Even if it's not your passion, but you have the determination to succeed, just keep moving forward. Because amidst all the challenges, all the difficulties, all the tears, all the back pain and all the pain, worth it naman siya. It's something that's rewarding at the end of the day. Kahit na maraming mga away sa'yo, or marami kang ma-encounter na parang feel mo na yurak yung pagkatao mo. Because it makes you a stronger person. It makes you a better professional.